Hello, my name is Matthias Cavodi. I'd like to welcome guys to my channel. Today we're going to talk about the time the Punisher goes up against his own teammates, the Thunderbolts, and it's a pretty fun story before I spoil the hell out of it. And two things I have to tell you guys before we get into the story itself is that for some reason I've never been a big Punisher fan. I think he's a really awesome character. I love it when he pops up in other comic book series and he's like the main antagonist, especially when he goes up against other heroes and he's pretty like hell bent on taking them down for some reason. And and the other thing is that this particular Thunderbolts run, because I've always been a real big fan of the Thunderbolts, and but for some reason I skipped this particular run. I don't know why. I jumped in. I read a couple stories. I never got hooked. Being the fact that I really love the Red Hulk. I really like Deadpool as a character. Agent Venom also was on the roster. I thought it was cool to see the Punisher, Ghost Rider, Elektra also all teaming up. It was a really good lineup, but for some reason I was never drawn to the series. But the conclusion of the series, this one-man war of the Punisher against his own teammates, I thought was really awesome. Go back to the first page. Here we have the Avengers battling against this group of gigantic monsters, kaiju type of monsters. While this is going down, there's a group of couldn't remember the word, snipers, pointing guns at the Avengers. They're planning to take them down. They all have specialized bullets for each one of the Avengers. But luckily, we have the Thunderbolts. They're there. Take these guys down. What happens, what we discover is that Hawkeye saw something go down. He didn't see the Thunderbolts doing their thing, but he sort of catches his eye. He's going to later on go investigate this place because Hawkeye is going to be an important character in the story arc. But the thing is, Thunderbolt Ross, the Red Hulk, wants to investigate who these guys, these snipers, were working for. Realized that they were willing to kill all the Avengers except for Captain America. They wanted him alive, so they find this abandoned school. They go through this really messed up situation with all the students are dead and they turn out to be zombies and they think they're going to die. And what's actually going down is they're being mind controlled by Dr. Faustus, classic old school Captain America villain. What sparks the confrontation between Punisher and his teammates is that Punisher wants to straight up kill Dr. Faustus, but he's stopped by the Red Hulk. This really pisses off the Punisher because sort of Punisher's thing to kill bad guys, but the Red Hulk, he's more pragmatic. He wants to find a way how he can use this guy to the favor of the Thunderbolts and be able to further hit the Red Hulk's agenda. The Punisher quits the team, and what happens is seemingly the Red Hulk plants a bomb, kills the Punisher because no one leaves the Thunderbolts, no one leaves the Red Hulk. We get Hawkeye. As I said before, he saw the situation. He had a suspicion. He wanted to go investigate to that rooftop. They find all these the signs of carnage all over the place. There's blood splattered. And actually, there's a graffiti that says the Punisher. That actually Deadpool is the one responsible for that. After this falling out, the rest of the team members, the team sort of disbands. They're all really pissed off with this whole situation. They're not happy. Pretty hilarious situation here. Deadpool's hanging out with his wife, and they have to deal with hitmen trying to kill Deadpool all day. This part had me laughing out loud. You had Crossbones, Ironmonger, and this generic bad guy just popping up. It's like a part of a normal Deadpool day. Elektra tries to investigate what the hell happened with the Punisher. She accuses the Red Hulk, and here's like the only part I feel a little bit forced. Spoilers. Like, if you're interested in the story, go out and read it. It's worth the while. It's a fun story. But this part feels a little bit forced. He confronts Red Hulk and says, "Did you do it?" And he doesn't respond. And what we discover later, actually, it was the leader, the one responsible. He set up this whole situation, not the Red Hulk. But if Red Hulk would have been just a normal person, say, "Hey, I didn't do it," like, I know he's sort of an asshole and always being mysterious and stuff like that. But this part felt a little weird, especially what we find out at the end of the story. A little bit forced, but and it forces a situation that Punisher is going to start taking down each one of his old teammates. So you get a lot of fun, but this part of writing just feels a little bit not. It's not the best. So obviously, the Punisher survives the situation. He's pissed off. He finds a bum that actually died in the explosion, puts his jersey on, the Punisher costume on him. First, he takes off Deadpool. We didn't get to see. This is like another thing that sort of bothered me. I would have loved to see a battle between Punisher and Deadpool, but what happens? Punisher actually blindsides Deadpool, cuts his head off, puts his head in a canister of vibranium, and shuts him away. Then we get the Punisher's battle with the Ghost Rider. Actually, Punisher's very similar, at least for me, even though I don't read DC, to Batman. Punisher with preparation, he's pretty much unstoppable. That's actually his superpower, his will. Like he puts his mind to something, nothing's going to stop him. That's why he's so dangerous. So he starts learning as much as possible about the occult to go up against the Ghost Rider. We actually get this angel called Zadkiel, because that's another character for some reason never found. I was never drawn to reading his comic book Ghost Rider, and this guy seems pretty cool. So I want to learn more about Zadkiel and what's his deal with the Ghost Rider. Just steals this super powerful magical weapon from him, and the battle with the Ghost Rider is pretty awesome. And there's actually a sort of a really important moment in the story. The Ghost Rider wants to use his penitence stare on the Punisher, and it just doesn't work because Punisher just doesn't repent and doesn't feel guilty, and he feels justified for every person he killed. Just doesn't work. And Punisher, using his skill and wit, is able to defeat the Ghost Rider. He's able to cure I can't remember the name of the character. Put in the comments below the name of the original Ghost Rider. Ghost Rider anymore. Then he's confronted by Elektra. That during this series, he was they actually were a thing. They actually were in a relationship, a very dysfunctional relationship, but a relationship it was. And so here's the end of that relationship. It's sort of heartbreaking, even though it was super messed up. Both of these guys are totally crazy characters. Another pretty well written line, because like even though they had that blunder with the Red Hulk, there's a couple of good, really well written pages. That Elektra was actually present the day his family, Frank Castle's family, was killed, and the sadness of seeing Frank Castle crying, having lost all of his loved ones. This again, here's like sort of another heartbreaking moment. Then we have Frank Castle going up against the Red Hulk, and basically he has a Hulk. He made himself a Hulkbuster suit. Like I imagine Frank Castle having contingency plans to battle against everyone. Plans to take down every single one of it, even his best friends, like just in case. So we get a pretty epic battle here, and what happens is, sorry there, the Avengers arrive. Punisher thinks the Avengers are the new Thunderbolts, so he starts battling up against them. And this is during the Hickman era Avengers. So we have Hyperion, Sunspot, Cannonball, Shang-Chi. It's a really confusing situation. The Avengers don't know who to actually take down. The Red Hulk was the next Avenger during a brief time. The reveal is Elektra finds out the Red Leader is the one behind this whole situation of trying to get the Punisher killed. And the Red Hulk comes clean and says, "Yeah, I knew I didn't do it." Like it's like he could have said this right from the start. And at the end, the final issue, we have all the heroes going up against the leader. A final battle and a big kablam, and it's just a good conclusion. There's not much to it. Like all the heavy lifting was already done in the previous issues, but it's a good send off to the series that I should go back and reread, because I know it was a good run. It's just for some reason I just skipped it. So see you guys next time. Bye.